Hey, it's the 40 Watt Garage. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Today is going to detail the installation of the Marlin Enterprises skid plate that fits Factory 5's Mark 1, 2, 3, and 4 Roadsters and the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Daytona 65 Coupe. Why should you consider getting a Marlin Enterprises skid plate? In my instance, it took a small lapse of memory pulling into my own driveway. I kind of have a nasty hump coming from the street, going down into my property, and if I stayed far to the one side, I was fine. I would clear and go down with no problem. If I went over to the other side a little bit too much, my car would actually high center on that hump. And you can see all along here, I have scraped the frame rails. The other reasoning is when these cars are put together, I have a straight edge here. You go against the bottom of your frame rail. I've only got about a 1/4 of an inch of clearance at the front of the oil pan. And you go back, it gets a little tighter because the engine tapers. And then it contacts my bell housing. Now a lot of guys build these cars with the SFI rated bell housing, and they have to trim off a significant part of that bottom lip. I'm using a cast aluminum bell housing, and it does hang down below the level of the frame, but not by very much. I am making the choice of not grinding this off or cutting that off, but I do lose about a 1/4 inch of ground clearance. And I do have scrapes on the bottom of the bell housing that, wouldn't you know, correspond to where the scrapes on my frame start when I high centered entering my own driveway. So having the skid plate for peace of mind, going over speed bumps or unknown territory, I don't want to knock a hole in my oil pan or impact it on this edge. May not put a hole in it, but it might crack a weld, cause a leak. You will need to gather the following tools for installation: center punch, hammer, hand drill, masking tape, a tap wrench, a pencil or markers, a small torpedo type level, cutting and tapping fluid, an 1/8 inch Allen wrench, some thread locking compound, a straight edge or yardstick, safety glasses, and some type of cleaning spray. Brake cleaner spray or carb spray will work fine. Starting about 12 inches behind the big 4-inch cross tube, we're going to put a strip of masking tape down the center of the frame rail. On both sides. And take the skid plate, set it against the frame rails, and slide it rearward until you feel it contact the lip of your oil pan. Not too worried about center to center at this time. Just get it flat against the front of the oil pan, and then move it forward about a 1/4 of an inch, just by eye. And then mark your tape on the front edge of the skid plate. Find a reference point on the frame, whether it's your motor mount or the front cross member tube, or maybe your transmission brace mount, and measure rearward. I'm going to use the center of the front cross member. I'm going to measure rearward, and this pencil mark is at 14 inches. This pencil mark is just not even worth discussing at 14 inches. So we know that we're reasonably square. Hold the skid plate up, aligning it with the marks that you just made. Hold it in place and verify that you have access to your oil drain plug. Adjust the plate if necessary. Take the supplied template and you can use a scissor or utility knife. You want to cut the template right down the center line. And then you want to trim along the circle, or now half circle. Then trim out this little notch at the bottom of the circle. Take your torpedo level and place it against the bottom of the main 4-inch cross member and check to see where your car is in regard to level with the world. And if you'll notice that I am just a little bit out of level. This isn't critical, but you need to make note of that error of level for the next steps. It will be helpful if you attach your torpedo level to the supplied template. So I'm going to make a loop of some masking tape, put it down on the template, then lining up the level with the line printed on the template, I'm going to stick the level down onto the template. Matching your previously noted error of out of level, mark your frame rail in several places, every 3-4 inches, matching your error angle. You may need to fold the template a little, set it in place, and mark. And repeat on the other side. Take your straight edge, hold it on the lines that you just made as best as possible. And connect your marks. Repeat on the other side. Now that you've connected your lines, use your yardstick and verify that your lines are 24 inches apart. And if they are not, make note and do some correction if necessary. Enlisting a helper or using some squeeze clamps, take your skid plate and line it up on the marks that you made earlier, trying to get it close to your pencil lines. Now the front of my plate is against my pencil lines, and now I'm going to adjust it left-right to get my attachment holes as lined up on those pencil lines as possible. This might take a little fiddling, but it has to be done. Once you have the skid plate adjusted to your pencil lines as best as possible, take your yardstick, make a few measurements from fixed points on either side of the car that are repeatable, and just check for squareness and symmetry. Check along the plane of your bell housing. See that it is square to the bell housing. From the frame tube to the front. When you're satisfied that it's in the correct position, mark either one of the forward holes. And mark the rear of the plate. And remove the skid plate. Using your center punch, aligning it with the mark that you made in the previous step, line it up, center punch your hole, your drill with the number 21 bit, drill your hole, put a little oil or lubricant on your tap. And you want to be square and perpendicular to your hole. And gently start cutting your threads. Take your skid plate and one of your mounting screws. Get it started in the hole that you just threaded. Using an Allen wrench. Snug it up, you don't have to tighten it. And get your mark lined up that you made previously. And mark the diagonally opposite hole on your skid plate. And then remove the plate. And now center punch, drill, and tap that hole that you just marked. Now that your second hole is drilled, you can remove the tape from the frame rails. Take your skid plate and using a couple of the machine screws, install it into the two holes that you just tapped. And finger tight, just snug is fine. Now that your plate is located on the car, use your center punch and mark the remaining 4 holes. And remove the plate. And drill and tap the 4 holes that you just marked. Now, using some carb spray or brake clean or whatever you have on hand, you want to clean off any cutting fluid, tapping fluid, or oil from your holes. And then apply a drop or two of Loctite to your attachment screws. And install your skid plate. I'm just using this one to hold it in place while I get the other screws prepped with Loctite. A little bit on the screw. Run these in finger tight. And then go back and snug them up. They don't have to be extremely tight. These are stainless screws. And your installation is complete.